They don't know you, right, Nia? You're not a bad person. It's easy to tell that, okay? You're missing the good moments. Sure, that's okay. You can say they're fake. You can say, whatever, but it's grieving, Nia. It's this loss, okay? This person, and wow, do these relationships, right? The people that we date in these toxic, dependent relationships, do they take up a lot of space and time in your life? My God, maybe 100, right? You can't even go to work without them text you or calling you or, all the time. I'm busy, more texts. I'm busy, keep calling you. I can't talk now. I'm with a client. I'm eating. I'm, and just boom, boom, boom. So they're up a huge part of your life. They say, gosh, I wish I could remember the stat. I think we spend a third of our life in the bathroom. A third. Imagine you have no more bathroom anymore. No more bathroom. You have to go outside and just go to the bathroom, do your thing real quick and come back in. You can't go in the bathroom. You can't spend time alone. No. You have to sit there and kind of, wash your body in front of other people, and you have to, hurry up and wash your hands in the faucet outside. And, I'm trying to use some analogy, but a third of our life in the bathroom, you're going to miss that, aren't you? This person probably took up more of your life. You're going to miss it. You're going to grieve. Allow yourself to grieve. Try to. Process these things. Keep talking about it to somebody. That really, really helps. It's the biggest thing you can do. Start forming more and more healthier relationships. That helps too. And creativity. Be creative. Okay? Pursue your own interest in life. And allow yourself to grieve. Cry. Be angry. Process it. Describe it. Say it out loud. Tell people. Write it down. That really is what works. Okay? So try not to say, oh, it's stupid that I feel this way, or it wasn't real because he lied to me. But the emotions are real. Yeah, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if what it is. And you're grieving him, so it doesn't matter if you hate him. It doesn't matter if you never want to talk to him again. Still loss, okay? And this is going to take a little while, and you're going to just let it take as much time as you need. But what are you doing about it? That's the important question to ask, Nia. What are you doing to heal from this? What are you doing that's grieving? Okay? What are you doing to make yourself feel better? Okay? Talk to someone, yeah. Thank you. Alice Ford. I don't know where you're from. Let us know where you're from next time, Alice. What if your narc always cries and acts oversensitive and displays emotions? And I asked you to tell me more if you could. And you said, yes, I dated this guy for a month. He cried every time I let him down. Like if I choose not to spend the night or do an activity we had planned, or he would act disappointed after a week of this. He left me abruptly for another girl younger than him, much younger. He told me she was successful and had a nice car. I too have all those things. He replaced me basically. And then he came back, used me, then verbally assaulted me, and I called him out on his behavior, and he blocked me on everything and cut me out of his life. To this day, he is still with his new supply. How do you know that? How do you know that he's still with his new supply, with his new girlfriend? How do you know? Did he tell you? Did she tell you? Does your friends tell you? Do you go look on social media? Try to stop doing that, okay? Try to stop investing in that. So your question, why is he so emotional? You dated him for 1 month, and he cried every time you let him down. How do you let someone down that bad in a month when you don't even know them? Like, I was just wondering what you were doing. You had something planned. If you chose not to spend the night, you should be spending the night with someone. I hate should, but big problem right here. You're spending the night with someone you met throughout. You dated for a month. When did you start staying the night? First night? Week 1? Week 2? Week 3? The last week you started staying the night? Obviously not. Obviously more towards the beginning. That's just it. You don't know him, right? And in a month you even started to get to know him a little bit, that he's emotionally unstable. But I want to go back to your question. Your question is, what if your narc, and my narc, we don't own these people, always cries and acts oversensitive and displays emotions. So that means they're emotionally unstable. Okay. And what that means is there's a process to emotions. Emotions are our body doing things. That's it. So I can describe what my body's doing. My blood is boiling, right? You can kind of figure out what that is, but I'm not really telling you. I'm just telling you what my body's doing. Feelings are awareness of what that is. And that's already starting the process. What is my body doing? What is that, right? Because sometimes we can have common symptoms or our body can be doing similar things. A lot of people get anxiety and fear confused. I'm afraid of something, or I'm anxious of, I don't know. So we also know what it's caused from, and then we try to do something about it, or we realize we have no control over this and we can't do something about it, or we already have been doing something about it and we let it go and we express it and tell people and stuff like this. He doesn't do this, okay? And so there are thousands, tens of thousands of different emotions, tens of thousands of different things our body can do. And the more we ignore them, the less we're processing them. Emotions stay open forever unless we express them and process them. The good times you can recall 20 years ago, you can recall a good time and it starts to feel good. See that? It's open. The bad things, right? And we say, you hear people with triggers, I can't talk about that. I have triggers, I can't do this, I can't do that. That emotion is open. And by just avoiding all triggers isn't going to help, okay? You're just keeping it back there and keeping it open. It's like saying, oh, my body's doing something, oh, but it doesn't feel good, so just ignore it and drink some alcohol. Hope it goes away. Maybe you'll stop feeling so anxious or so bad or so afraid or so worried or so depressed. But, this doesn't last. External things don't last. It's going to be right back there and it'll follow you. And if you try to just move away, it's going to go with you. And if you start a new relationship, it's going to still be in that relationship with you. And so you can have lots of different emotions at once. Lots and lots. You can be happy and you can be sad at the same time. Pretty crazy, huh? And so he has different emotions, sounds like. He has anger and ignores it. He feels depressed and sad and ignored it. And this is how he grew up. And then now his body's doing all kinds of things all the time, all the time. He's feeling depressed and excited and happy and sad and worried and scared and afraid and all these stuff going on at the same time. And it makes him very impulsive because he doesn't know what to do or take care of himself at all. And so he's dependent on any outside source he can. Okay? And this is why addictions, this is why it's very common for them to have addictions, drug abuse, alcohol abuse, sex abuse, gambling, eating, anything. Biggest one, relationships, people. He is so dependent on somebody to regulate his emotions, he doesn't even emotionally connect with them or can even take the next step with a person and find out who they are or anything. Nothing. He's just life or death, life or death. Everything's life or death. You're here to kill me or help me in some way. So give me what I need and make me feel better, or you're a bad person, I hate you, and throw you away. And then now I'm with this person. This person doesn't do it for me because that's another outside source. So eventually it won't work. So eventually I'm going to come back to you. And I'm going to say, at this moment, I hate you. And then the next moment, I love you. In this moment, I'm so scared. And then I go, wait, I'm not so scared. Well, yes, I am. And so I'm so scared, I'm going to do something about it now. Right now. May not be the best choice, but oh well. And then it fails. It's a bad choice and it hurt him. But he just feels so bad. He doesn't process it or fix it or think about it. He just goes right to something else to help him feel better. And never learns and just keeps repeating the cycle over and over and over again. Extremely unstable. Very borderline. Histrionic. Could be other disorders. Probably has anxiety disorders. Very depressed. Can't imagine how this guy feels. This guy probably has 100 different emotions a day. And so it makes you impulsive. Do something now. Now, now, now. He replaced you. That's what we do with objects, right? My little clock breaks, I buy a new one. I don't sit there and go, oh, pretty clock. What do you need? What'd you say? Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'll keep you away from, I'll keep you out of the sun if that doesn't feel good. I'm sorry. What? In what? No. I need the time. I need the time. I need the time. No, you can't give me the time. Throw it away. Get a new one. I'm not even going to take the time to even realize what this thing is. And no, that's it. That's it. And you're in the path of this. And, learn why. Okay? Learn why. You asked another question. How do I get a session with you? And thank you for asking. Anybody that wants sessions with me, wants to book a session, I have lots of availability. And you can find me at daviddemars.com. Send me a message and ask me anything you want. Thank you, Alice. Let me know what you think about this. Adrian from the United States of America. Hi, Adrian. How did we learn when young in our family that constant lying is not healthy? The narcs I knew lied constantly. I wondered why. Don't they get tired of lying? These kinds of things like we call pathological really starts to be out of our control. Things that are pathological. And these are learned behaviors. Lying's learned behavior in childhood. And parents can teach us to lie different ways. So parents can lie to us, which is just an awful thing to do. And I encourage all parents to not lie to your children. Okay? I'm not saying you have to tell them everything all the time. There's things that are age appropriate, but we don't have to make up lies. We know children are sponges. And the old adage I hear parents say, don't do as I do, do as I say. Do as I say, not as I do. No. You want to be a good parent, be a good person. You want to be healthy and have a healthy child, you be healthy. Okay? It's that simple. So I'm staying together for the children. Worst thing you could do. You acknowledge it's a bad situation, but you keep your children in it. And that's my choice, and that's a good thing. Lots of psychology behind that. I won't get into that. So we can teach our children to lie because they're following by example. We lie, right? I lied to my neighbor, right? I lied to my boss. I lied to, mom and dad lie to each other. They lie to you, the child. They can learn that. The other is maybe the parents don't lie at all. They're quite aware that the child lies, but they don't hold them accountable or responsible. Okay? There's no repercussion to their behaviors. Okay? That's another way that they can learn. I remember my parents telling me, not to lie, right? Not to steal, not to hit people, stuff like this. But I remember in my childhood making these clear and conscious choices myself. I remember. And I remember, even though my parents encouraged me not to do that, right? And would punish me if I did, if they caught me doing these things. But I really remember saying, and I'm like biting my nails. I used to bite my nails as a child, amongst other things, neurotic things, because of my childhood, chewing on ice and, all kinds of things. But I bit my nails. And I just remember, when I started being interested in girls, I can't remember the age when boys do, and saying, this is ugly. Girls won't like this. I'm going to stop. No one told me to. I didn't, I just stopped. And I remember saying, I don't want to lie. I don't want to lie anymore. I don't want to lie. I don't want to lie. And I came up with a little rule when I was a little kid. I was like, if I have to lie about something, I probably shouldn't be doing it. And it's not okay to lie to this person, just like it's not okay to lie to that person. It's not okay to lie to my boss, just like it's not okay to lie to my dad or my girlfriend or my friend. Parents will teach children to lie by not accepting the truth. And so this is how a narcissist is formed. So the narcissist isn't going to tell them how they really feel because mom and dad don't want to hear that. So they'll tell them what mom and dad want to hear. I feel good. I'm happy. Right? And this continues on. And in adulthood, they'll tell you they had a good childhood when they didn't, in fact, at all. And so this is where lying starts. Most people don't begin being compulsive liars at, in their 30s or 40s. It's a childhood developmental behavior. I hope I answered your question. Don't they get tired of lying? It's how they were taught to get what they want. Period. So they appease the parents by lying, and they grow up and appease you by lying. Okay? They learn how to get what they want and need by lying. Does it work? No. It's dysfunctional. It's exploitative. Okay. I hope I answered your question, Adrian. Thank you. And Deeper Roots Higher Self. I'm not making this up. The narc borderline I unfortunately dated literally told me when I told him how I feel about him calling me names, your emotions are wrong. Not the words he used are wrong. Not the words he used are wrong. Nothing he did. My emotions about it are supposedly wrong. And I understand today that my emotions have to be wrong to him because he's pathologically defensive. Everyone has to be wrong because they are not going to challenge their defense mechanisms. If they did, they'd be putting down the armor and they're basically Darth Vader. They can't put down the armor. That's right. That's right. They can't be vulnerable. Emotions are your body doing things, and it's not wrong. It's not right. It's not truth. It's not false. It's not fake. It's not wrong. It's not ugly. It's not stupid. Okay? We listen to what our body's doing. And there's things we need to do about it. Okay? Take care of ourselves. Meet our needs. If you don't have your emotional needs met, you're never going to be happy. The anxiety's never going to go away. You're never going to not be depressed. You got to have your emotional needs met. Most important thing in our lives. And that's how we're here as a whole. Thank you. Rory from Ohio. Hi, Rory. I think Facebook ate my comment, or it got lost. I think you mean YouTube. And I'm sorry, that happens sometimes, especially if you guys put any kind of links and stuff like in there, it'll get rid of them. Socially inept is so right. Treating people really bad in public, at restaurants, stores, pharmacy, everywhere, including me in his emptiness. Even lodges he was a member of, people would expect me to talk to him because he was out of hand. Why couldn't they tell him he was acting like an ass? And I wrote here, well, it's uncomfortable. This is also depression and makes you not get along well with others. And that is the root cause. Socially inept. The more we are the more that we are emotionally neglected in childhood, the less social skills we have. And I thought, and I am, I've always been a good communicator, but emotional communication, awful. And I thought I was really good. I thought I was the best communicator. I could talk really well, but not emotionally. Wasn't taught that, and we're taught that. And if we're not taught that, we're emotionally neglected. We got to avoid. But even people at the lodge would expect you to talk to him. Yeah, because we don't really, we don't like confrontation. We don't need to tell people and point out their problems. And toxic behaviors can be stressful for people, okay? But yeah, he's depressed. He was neglected as a child, probably. And the more that we are neglected, the less social skills we have, period. The less we talk to our parents, right? Literally, the less communication we have as children growing up. And you can see this even as children. Children having more problems describing to you what they want, what they need. Yeah. Thank you, Rory. And Leah. Don't know where you're from. Tell us your locations, people, please. I recently started going to therapy because I was worried I might have BPD. The therapist actually believes I have CPTSD from narcissistic abuse. This sucks. I just want to be normal and stable again. I'm sorry, Leah. I'm sorry. Awful, awful, awful. It's good that you know. Now you know what to fix, okay? And just to go back about BPD, people used to be diagnosed with BPD that just had CPTSD. And there are big differences. We got a stress disorder and we have a personality disorder. I think it's safe to say that probably everyone that has BPD or had BPD also had CPTSD in their lives at one point. I think that's very, very safe to say. I would say, trauma, a spectrum, right? And the more we're traumatized, the more likely we are to having bigger problems, disorders, personality disorders, even psychosis. But this is a good thing, okay? I'm not telling you how you should feel, but this is good. You know what to put your attention at. I'm surprised your therapist even told you have CPTSD because it's not even in the DSM. I don't know what country you're in. I'm guessing America. But that's interesting when therapists use that term, the complex post-traumatic stress disorder, because it's not even in the DSM. But I hope that your therapist can not only identify this, but knows how to heal you. Okay? So do everything your therapist says. Give them a shot. Give yourself a shot by trying them, giving 100%, doing everything they say. I can't stress enough how if you go see a mental health professional and you don't know everything about it, which nobody does, so they're telling you to do things, and every little thing they tell you is important. Not just the big things, not just the things that are easy, not just the things that are quick. All of it. Do it. I get this a lot. People, I don't want to do that. No, I don't need to do that. Oh, I did that 20 years ago. I don't need to do it again. You're paying me. Good thing. They say, I'm sorry, Leah. I'm sorry you're struggling, but I'm glad that you are further along in the process. Now you know what it is. Now you know what to focus on it and give attention to. Stick with this therapist. If you don't get better, find a new therapist or new professional, okay? Thank you for sharing that. David from Canada. Hello, David. Talking about removing our parents' influence. I say something to my son, and then 5 seconds, 5 minutes later, I come back and say, sorry, mate, I need to alter what I just asked or told you. We then talk a little more about what we were, and from time to time, he will be like, amazing that you are trying so hard to change. That's beautiful. It is very tough. I do find I need to revisit less and less. I also try not to give in too much with him, as that would parentify him. But when I first started working with a professional, it was almost daily this happened. Been over 6 months now, and with practice and patience, I'm noticing a change, and asking how he feels instead of telling him how he feels or should feel is becoming so much easier. I find I am asking friends the same. That is beautiful. Good job. I love to hear that. I love to see it. It's just awesome. It's perfect. Okay. We talk about perfect parenting. That's perfect parenting. Being able to look at yourself, apologize to the child, learn from your mistake, and not repeat it. You can't get much more perfect than that. We aren't born being perfect parents. It's something we're taught and learn along the way. So we're taught, we watch our parents, right? We watch them, and by growing up, we learn from our caretakers, if they're our parents, what love is. We learn how to treat each other. We learn what a marriage is, a relationship. We learn what a woman is. We learn what a man is, a father, a mother. We learn all this from our caretakers, so we are going to repeat some of it. I know it sucks, but we are, and the idea is to just be mindful of your behaviors and wanting to change. And like David here, being able to look at yourself and lose your ego and your pride and say, I made a mistake and I'm going to make more mistakes. And that's okay. I'm just going to try not to repeat them. Beautiful. Beautiful. Thank you, David. Rory from Ohio. Loved what you mentioned about socially inept, always arguing, causing a scene at grocery store, pharmacy, restaurants, cashiers, family parties, everywhere. Massive depression. Massive depression. I've seen people like this, and it's just absolutely amazing. And more amazing that I would keep them in my life. Oh my God, go on a vacation with them. I went on a cruise with somebody one time, and it was just, my God. Like, I didn't know if we were ever going to get on the boat. You know, I mean, it was just problem after problem after problem. Problem with everything I did and said. Problem with the checking in on the plane. Problem with the stewardess. Problem with security. Problem with the taxi. Problem, I mean, just, man. And I must have not thought I was worthy of more or better. Emily from Latvia says to this, when I called him out to say I'm not happy if he belittles me in front of friends, he said, after living so many years together, you should be used to it. Sorry, I'm laughing. Awful, Emily. I'm so sorry. It's just amazing, right? Training. After years of training and conditioning, you should be used to it. No one gets used to it. Nobody. And I've seen people try. I've seen people say, David, I know that they don't really care who I am. I know, David, I'll never have my emotional needs met. I know, David, that I'll be traumatized, but I love him, and that's okay. I'm willing to not have any of those things. I'm just going to try to get used to it. Guess where that ended up. I'm sorry, Emily. so glad that he is not in your life anymore. I'm sure you and your children are too. Richard from Ireland. Hello, Richard. I think a lot of us get trapped by bills and financial obligations. I'm recovering from a lot of debt and have cut my cloth to suit my life. It seems impossible to pay all of it off, but don't stay trapped by people who use financial manipulation. It's not worth it, and it will just stay that way forever. I'm not a doormat. Good. And it's not just common. If you're in an emotionally exploitative or abusive, traumatic relationship with somebody, I believe it's 98% of those relationships also have some sort of financial exploitation and abuse or abuse. And it always starts first. That's how extremely common it is. And a lot of you might say, well, not me, but did you pay for everything, right? Did you pay for more stuff? Right? Think about it hard. You're all going to find it, but it is so extremely common to be in financial loss and debt, things like this afterwards. And I'm so sorry, Richard. Really, really figure out and know and see right in front of you what you value. And it could really help you to write this list down, to see it, be more cognitive of it, and maybe prioritize it. What's the most valuable thing in your life? And I know money can be valuable. That's okay. Money and sex and going out with friends and partying, these can all be important to you and value. You can value these things. But where is it on this list, right? And I know I can tell enough about you that that's not what you value at the top of your list, money and stuff like this. But when we get overwhelmed, we start to do that. We start to put it at the top of our list subconsciously. Okay? So just keep telling yourself, Richard, what's really important to you and how important money is and your debt is to you. Shrink that down. Okay? Good luck, Richard. And Deeper Roots Higher Self, I really had immense anger. It was terrible. I want to tell everyone it gets better. It gets really bad sometimes before it gets better. I've never had worse fantasies of revenge, etc. My blood was boiling. I wanted to spit fire. For some people, bad nightmares are the last healing stage. Patrick Carnes says in the book, The Betrayal Bond, that anger is a healthy emotion that indicates that boundaries have been crossed, transgressed, broken. I don't remember the exact word. Great book, read it. I believe that the way we enmesh with cluster B disordered people because we are emotionally starved for a connection and that they are only able to enmesh. Perfect. There are people that value emotional connection and there are people that do not. And we need to accept this in everybody. Okay, and not keep trying because most people watching this, value emotional connection. And the problem is we keep trying with somebody who does not, right? I want them to be a better person. I was trying to help them. I was trying to fix them. No, you want to change them to value emotional connection with you. Finally listen to you. Finally understand you. Finally start giving you some security and reassuring you all these things. But they're not. They don't value that. Okay? Really important to come to realize. And so, since these people don't value emotional connection, they didn't do it in childhood at all, right? And they just starve for attention. If we don't have emotional connection, then we just starve for attention. And as we are starving for emotional connection with somebody, they're starving for attention. So they'll give you all the attention that they want. They think that's what's important, so they give you tons of attention. Put you on a pedestal, you're so amazing, right? And then that's what they want you to do for them. And you're just trying to have emotional connection with them. And they're flooding you with attention. And then by the time they're sick of it, by the time they say it's my turn, and we don't give them all that attention because that's not what we value, now it's devalue time. They start to devalue. You see that? And the whole time you want this emotional connection with them. And we think we have one because we didn't have emotional connection with our parents. So that's familiar. Emotionally absent maybe, right? And so, but we need it. We value it. We emotionally connected with somebody. And so as children, we didn't get that emotional connection from our parents. And so we stray and try to find it somewhere else. And we find somebody we think is emotionally connected with because they flood you with so much attention. And that feels like the unconditional love that we didn't get as a child. It can be confusing. I'm sorry if I confuse anybody, but that's it. Thank you. And that's it, guys. That's it. Thank you for all your great questions. Please keep them coming. Really, please. The best way to help promote this, what I'm doing, if you guys believe that I'm helping you or can help somebody else, subscribe to my channel, hit the notification bell. You'll know when they come out. Go down below, ask a question, give a comment, tell me where you're from. Vote up or down. You can share this video other places. I really like to see this grow more. Since the beginning of the year, my views have gone down on these videos quite a bit because of YouTube regulations. So I would really appreciate any support you give me, and so would the people that find this information and it helps, okay? Anyone interested in coaching, daviddemars.com. Love yourself first, everybody, okay? And thank you very, very much.